Hello, Goosebumps fans. This is going to be exclusive for you. So, Grim told me the bad news. It looks like Goosebumps Horror Town is gone. Man, should I say it or should you? It's like, yeah, hopefully Grim's listening to this because I'm going to give you the full lowdown, okay? Ready for the full lowdown? Let's talk about Goosebumps video game, shall we? The first two games came from Parachute Press. It's like Parachute Press in association with others. That's what happened. Especially, you had Steven Spielberg being part of the first game. I have yet to find it, and there's some people who are trying to get it on Steam, and I'm like, for the love of God, keep begging, okay? Even though it's like, well, it looks like we see how Scholastic is playing things because, oh, good Lord. Yes, and then we have to go all the way back to the original movie. So the original movie that came out, we had a game that actually was with the movie. Yes, you had an iOS game called Night of Scares. Yes, I know we're going to have to go back to that one in a minute. You had AR video game 2, if we can call it that. But the thing is, it's messed up is that we got the first game, and when we came to the second movie, I'm like, okay, so this is what it's like. I kept those ones like, okay, here's what they're gonna do. It makes sense. So Mr. Wood was at the last game. So that means that this is going to be a side story again, where you have Mr. Wood terrorizing that same town with the two kids, the older brother and the kid. And there was actually books still hidden because apparently R.L. Stine is too stupid in this video game to notice, hey, wait a minute. Aren't you a freaking thing too? And who knows, maybe he had Night of Living Dummy 2 book. He didn't have the first one, which means Mr. Wood is there and he has to freaking absorb him, even though it's kind of like, he doesn't know who Mr. Wood looks like? What the fucking hell is this? It's like, yeah, I have to mention the fact of wouldn't he have been absorbed in the book too? And either way, we have a sequel that should have happened and it didn't happen. This should have been the Switch game that we got, instead of the re-release of the game on the 3DS. Who the it's like, yes, it's messed up. And it gets even worse where it's like, oh my gosh, you guys are so lazy that the other game that came out, Dead of Night, is basically Night of Scares, but with one extra freaking level. And I was trying to defend him, being like, there'll be DLC, because Fifi was in the app. So there has to be more ones. And not to mention, there's even more that they're hinting at. So they have to actually have DLC content. No, they sure didn't. Oh my gosh, you have Feifei and the freaking app, and you didn't bring her over? Why? It's like, yeah, do you think they'll actually allow freaking DLC in this? It's like, I don't know, really. It's like, yeah, I really don't know. And they even had it on the Switch, and I tried my best to actually tell Bjorn from, Goosebumps Aussie fan, and what's worse is that, well, he's been missing quite a while now. I thought he has the full collection, and yet they have trading cards in the Switch version, which I was just trying to tell him, hey dude, if you want a complete collection, you need to get a Switch version. Hey dude. Yep, of course, that's a total failure. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have it. He still don't know to this day that they have training cards in the Switch version. Yes. What the fuck? So with all that said, and plus they didn't even try their hardest to sell Dead of Night. Dead of Night had some good stuff and did some good things. I even tried to go to the guys because, well, apparently they actually had people paid. They had paid sponsors in the app, and I'm like, well, then I guess I could try to get a reviewer copy, so I could play it. You guys would maybe like it. Who knows? And it's like, instead, we're like, no, they never answered back. Yeah, the one person was like, you could try to get a reviewer copy. No, they never replied back to me. Yeah, totally suck. And then, of course, we had, Horror Town. And it's like, oh, that's a good idea, I suppose. It's a good idea. And then they had a paid sponsor of John Wolfe, maybe a few others. And they even had their own YouTube page, which they never did anything with. What the fuck? It's like, yeah, they haven't ever had a YouTube page. It's like, yeah, and don't really need to. It's like, I'm not going to beat up Pixie out for this. We got to talk about Scholastic, and that's what I'm doing. So, Scholastic apparently they had standards of it, and it's like, okay, well, hold on. So let me get this straight. Maybe your standards was good in the 90s and you were kind of stupid though. It's like, yeah, so how in the world did you have Escape from Horrorland? It most likely did good. And then you come up with the next one called Masked Mutant, Attack of the Masked Mutant, which kind of sucks. I'm like, if you put a lot of work into doing this freaking Escape from Horrorland and it worked and it sold, then why couldn't you do Camp Jelly Jam? Why couldn't you do Scarecrow Walks at Midnight? Why couldn't you just choose one that actually makes sense? Masked Mutant. Masked freaking mutant. What the f? Masked freaking damn mutant. What the f? Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, and then it's like you didn't have anything else afterwards. I already been said, hey, why didn't you have an N64 game for Goosebumps? Hey, why didn't you have a PlayStation game for Goosebumps? I don't see how the frick does that not work. And of course, yes, I know. Don't forget about when they tried to freaking do. It's like they had a good news and bad news. Good news, they decided to actually make a interactive tie-in to the books of Horrorland when it was actually out. And somehow they don't have the smart idea of being like, oh, we got rid of that website, but hey, we could just make it into an app and make people pay for it, like $1.99, and they could do all the stuff that they did in the website, and it will forever be preserved. What y'all guys think they did? I'll let you have a second. If you believe that no, they didn't do that crap because it's kind of stupid that they didn't actually think it's a good idea to have the freaking inversion still intact because they are still selling the books, you're wrong. Apparently, no, they got rid of the damn freaking website and they didn't even try to back it up. Or even better, it's like, you guys love money, right? $1.99 for the freaking experience, man. It's like, or why not put it in the freaking damn CD-ROM like back in the damn day? They didn't do nothing. And the only thing we have left, which is like that would actually make better sense, is like, why not have it embedded in the freaking game systems, is they have a PlayStation 2, Wii, and DS versions. Wait, did no Xbox 360? Yeah, I think they didn't do Xbox 360. Wait, what the fuck? Like, how in the world did he not have a PC version or Xbox 360 version or even deal with Microsoft? That was your bread and butter back in the day. You had computer games. I don't understand how in the world it's different besides, well, they kicked freaking Parachute Prince to the damn curb because of messed up freaking damn issues and oh my gosh, it's messed up. It's like, I don't understand what really happened now. It's like I have to go again and get an understanding what happened because it was like, it's a divorce. Parachute Press was the freaking jerk asses in this. They got more money under the table and Scholastic got pissed. And then it's like in another corner, it was like Scholastic was the jerk ass here. And it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm to the point again of where it's like, I don't know who's wrong. I don't know. So it's like you would figure that Scholastic is all about the money, but Scholastic only does one thing good. The books. That's it. That's the only thing they do. Everyone else, Harry Potter, Clifford, Arthur. Do they have Arthur? Well, Arthur's dead now, so it's like, yeah, it's like that show is now dead. But all of those have freaking merchandise. Goosebumps, no merchandise. No one actually is doing the merchandising of freaking Goosebumps. It used to be Parachute Press, but as soon as they're gone, they've just been going wacky, crazy fun. Wacky, crazy fun. It's like, yeah, only freaking DVDs. Rarely giving us board games. This freaking art book, which I think is out, which I wonder who's gonna review it. I sure won't. They made that cover what the fuck to the point where I'm like, oh hell no. So yes, they as soon as they changed the cover to this new version, I'm like, oh hell no. If I do see it in the thrift store, which that's gonna be some years, one of you lucky people will get to buy it from me because, oh, hell no. Again, oh, hell no. It's like, yeah, you get to buy it from me and I'll throw in the Night of Living dummy copy I have that's still in my house. Well, two versions of them. Yeah, I was like, yeah, the original version and the second version, since apparently no one wants to buy my bundaloo. Yeah, it sucks. But with all that said, though, video game wise, is that they aren't the video game types. And for them to have this big, huge idea of how much the game should sell to continue on, you can understand it again. They're thinking about the books. That's what they're thinking about the most is the books. So they basically kind of suck. I'm sorry, but Scholastic kind of suck. And let's look about this the other way. Clifford, Arthur. Look how long it took for Clifford to get a freaking movie again. That isn't TV version. Arthur never showed up in freaking movie theaters. Wonder why that is. It's like, yeah, always on PBS. And then they went even worse, being like, with Time for Inclusion. It's like, well, you fucked everything over. Screw you. It's like, yes, oh, you fucked everything over. Screw you. But in the case of all of this, Scholastic is not good with video games. Their idea of how much it should make is kind of most likely skewed very, very badly because this is the only one they have. And I bet even worse is the only ones they can compare it to is Night of Scares. That's the only game they have to be like, oh, if it's profitable, it's this. So in the end, Scholastic has no real reason to say no to anything. Because they only good with the books. That's it. And even then, that's kind of lackluster considering in stores, I don't see a decent plethora. I have to go to an actual bookstore. Walmart, they're not enforcing it. 2-in-1 books. Awesome, but the newer books like Monster Blood is Back, nowhere to be found. Even in Target too, in my neck of the woods. Do you agree with me? It's like freaking, Ollie's. Once upon a time, I see the Goosebumps books, but not all the time. You see an issue here. They're too dependent on the freaking internet. And that's kind of a problem. It is pretty much kind of a problem. There's some times where you could easily let people, because they're shopping, see the books, buy the books. Pretty simple. Kids see the book. Oh my goodness. Grab the book. They buy it. There's no time for you to be on the phone when you're in the store. Instead, they're just losing. They're missing out. And yes, sadly, the store is not selling out in books. Of course not, because they already got the people who already bought the books. So, yeah. So, Scholastic and video games, it doesn't match. It's not good at all. It's horrible. And they just make bad plays. That's it. So, in the end, for Horror Town to just go down, I offer to say they're going to freak it up either way. It would have been like something else that they freaked up. It would have been something else. They're not even thinking about a whole TV show and the fact of where it could actually help even better. But sadly, it doesn't happen. Now let's talk to the future. Their plan B. Even though, yeah, it's like, sadly, my dream would be this, is that, well, how about Just Beyond then? It's like, yeah, middle finger, Just Beyond, because that's R.L. Stine's thinking, and he most likely got to feel Just Beyond, so go fuck yourself. 2, it could be freaking Fear Street, which, was Fear Street freaking Scholastic? If not, well, thank goodness, Fear Street could happen. Maybe they get old ones, like, for instance, The Nightmare Room returns out of nowhere, and it's like, oh, thank goodness. Or The Haunting Hour returns, and it's like, oh, hey, yeah, just get one of the dead ones, and yeah, I'm pretty sure Nightmare Room should be the best option, because it's like, Nightmare Room, only a few things happen there. They can run wild and do whatever the hell they want. Just for the love of God, do not bring Buddy in this shit. No, Buddy, hell no, hell no, hell no. But of course, if it is The Haunting Hour, yes, please bring Lily D. Bring on Lily D. I love that girl. Anyways, have a scary day. Have a scary night.